Testing, testing, 1, 2. If you're on the live stream and you can hear us, just say hi on the group, say hi on the chat. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Everybody say hi. Okay, so now we can hear.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, so just say hi or whatever. If you can, just make sure we can hear everything. Can you hear both the keyboards? Can you hear me talking? If you can, then we're going to get straight to work. We've got LaVale over here monitoring the chat. W's in the chat. Love it. Okay, great. Awesome. This is going to be the start of maybe a few other ones. Is the audio good? Everybody happy with the audio? Everybody hear everything that they need to hear? Can you hear the keyboards? Lovely. And is it loud enough for everybody? Should we make it a bit louder? Go deeper. Let's go. Yeah. Hello, hallelujah. All right, cool. Awesome. Let's do this. We got... it always feels like you have more time than you actually have, but it's not enough time. It's not enough time because we're trying to compact actual knowledge that people have gained over many, many years into 1.5 hours. So I just find in things like these, normally it's not always the nitty-gritties that people pick up on, but like there is something that someone will pick up on, and hopefully whatever you pick up on is something that you can use and grow with. Yeah, I'm not going to take too long. Just a quick hello to everybody that's watching from all the other CRC churches and everybody that plays keyboard. Over here we have Sfiso right there with the red or maroon, burgundy, whatever. Yeah, and then we have Tetelo over here. Sfiso plays here in Pretoria. Tetelo plays in Johannesburg. And we've had, I guess, quite a bit of success with the keys sections, and we want to try give as much knowledge to everybody else. There's actually a lot of really, really, really good keyboardists in CRC. Yeah. I was thinking about it now, which is awesome. They both have microphones, so I'm going to ask them to just very briefly give us a short history. And the things that I want to know in the short history is, when did you start playing your instrument? And then at what point did you feel your biggest amount of growth musically, and what were you doing at that point? What were you practicing then? Who wants to go first? Because Fiso is going to go first. Just check that.
It's my home.
Just check that your mic is on there.
1 2 1 2 mic check. Yeah, no, for sure. My name is Fiso. I play here, and it's been a pleasure so far. So, I think I started a while back. Actually, a guy that just taught me for 2 weeks. Then he passed on. Then I had to learn everything that I needed from YouTube. So, I just want to start by saying that YouTube works for sure. It does work.
I'm gonna pause you. So I'm gonna pause you as you answer these questions, because I feel like you're gonna go past a lot of important things.
Okay.
What were you watching on YouTube when you started? What videos were you looking for?
For sure. Actually, for me, it's just the gospel tutorials. I started with traditional gospel. I just wanted to know the simple things. Not the hectic, major 7, major what. No, I just wanted to know the roots. I think for me, mastering those basics, that really helped me.
Play us something.
Just try it. So that's how I started. Just learning the basics and how they sound.
Okay, cool. So you started watching YouTube videos, and
Yes,
then
sir. Yes, sir. Then from YouTube videos, it was albums that I liked. So for me, albums were very influential. The very first album that I liked or that influenced me was KK. There's a guy called KK. So the that album was called Revival. So this other guy called, I think Alwan Botha was playing the piano. So he was just amazing. So that album really, I went through that whole album every single day. And I think that's the album that I learned how to play 12 keys, because those songs were in different keys. Then every song I stayed on that key. So if I didn't know the key, I learned that song and the key in the no transposing. And I used to transpose also A flat.
which key did you start with? Which key did you start playing?
For sure, A flat, bro.
A flat. Okay. It's actually pretty interesting, and I don't want to stay here for too long because if you are brought up in a black traditional church,
Yeah.
You tend to be in a specific key the whole time,
Yeah.
and you will just transpose.
Yeah.
And then depending on where you're from, that area normally plays
Yeah.
in a certain key. So where I grew up, it was G sharp.
Okay.
And everybody there in Limpopo and Venda played G sharp.
Yeah.
And I literally played in G sharp up until I was in matric when I moved to CRC. And then they said to me, no, we don't transpose. So the guy just said, go home and learn on your scales and then come back.
100%. I think also something happened to me like that. So I used to play on A flat until I got a gig with this guy. So it was for a church. Then it was a motive also. But so I didn't see the transpose because as you can see, it doesn't show. So those guys were like, no, we're not showing you. We're not showing you. So that service, I struggled. And from that day, Monday morning when I got home, I just started to learn the keys day by day. Yeah, so it was just tried. Then from the triad, then seventh. Yeah, for me, triads and seventh, they really work for me to know the sound, like understand if you want to play 4, you can already know how it sounds like. If you want to play 6, you know the emotion that comes with it. So many people want to skip the triad part of their life and they want to go to the 7th, which you won't really understand the sound. So that when you call out numbers, sorry to jump, but when you call out numbers, you can already know how the chord is going to feel before you even play it. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so let's skip to the part where you feel you grew the most.
Yes, sir. I think for me, when I grew the most it was when I played for a choir, because they started playing some almost like Kate Franklin, Marvin Sapp kind of songs. So it was kind of challenging for me because I didn't know those songs. But sooner or later, I started understanding them. But what really helped me was the triads and the major 7th chord. So I knew my basics so well that when I had to listen to the songs, it was easier for me. But the basics for me did it for me. So, and also I listened to a lot of music back then. So I used to listen to a lot of music. So also it really helped. It really, really, really helped. Yeah.
Okay, so are you going to, and I think this is going to be everybody.
Yeah.
So what you're saying to me, what I'm hearing is that you made sure to have all your basics.
100%.
Not fancy stuff, have your
No.
basics down
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
And then the part where you grew the most was when you were put in a place where the stuff was really difficult and
Yeah.
you had to rise to that
100%.
level. Okay,
Yeah.
sharp.
Yeah.
All right, Tetelo,
Yeah.
talk to us.
Okay, name is Tetelo from Limpopo, and so started keyboard from grade 3, but because I loved drum too much, I left it until grade 9, grade 10, when the guy who was playing keyboard had to leave for varsity. Then that's when I got on the keyboard. And my journey is a little bit opposite of Sfiso because I started with the fancy stuff. So, so I went on YouTube and, gospel passing chords, Warren, all those gospel passing chords. But until I saw that it caught up with me 2022 when I was leaving for varsity. And when I got my keyboard, that's when I realized that, you know what, I actually don't know anything. But before leaving, I knew all the black keys. But the white keys, it was a little bit difficult for the hand movements. So I think for the first 4 to 5 months when I got the keyboard, I was just learning the scales. So basic scales. So this side I would do the 1, this side I would start with the 3, and just for the hand coordination.
I'm going to pause you there for a second because that's important.
Yeah.
And I think we'll maybe even go back to that in a second. Just the idea of, okay, yes, you know how to play your scales. And I think a lot of people think, okay, I know my scales, what now?
Yeah.
And I think people don't realize that knowing your scales is like knowing alphabets. The minute you know alphabets, you can spell any word.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you can't just spell words, you can do maths. You can do so much stuff. So like, for example, even what you're saying, like, instead of doing both hands exactly the same notes, now you can go, you start on the 1 on your left
On
hand,
my left,
and then your right hand you start on the 3.
On
So
3,
like you're moving in sequences of 3s now.
Yeah.
And then you can move
Yeah.
in 4s, you can move in 5 and 6s,
Yeah.
and then you get to understand and hear what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because I think what people don't realize is the more you play the same basic scale over and over again, you're not just training your fingers, you're just as much training your ears to hear, okay, this is what this thing sounds like.
Yeah.
This is what this thing feels like, what Fiso says. I think once you go past what it sounds like, once you've heard it enough times, then you'll know what it feels like.
Definitely.
Because now it's like, okay, play me something that feels sad. You know already.
You
Okay,
know
cool,
how-
I'm going to
yeah.
bring this in. Anyway, so continue.
Yeah, so for the first 4 months when I got the keyboard, because for like 3 years, I was just going on YouTube, gospel passing chords, and those are for impressing, because you get on the keyboard, all you want to do is, I want them to hear what I've checked, and now it's no longer about the music. It's no longer about, does this chord fit this particular song? So immediately I got my keyboard, I reset everything. I had to learn all the scales, melodic, harmonic, and the hand coordination. And from there, that's when I even started joining CRC. But CRC, I joined it before I got the keyboard. And when I got there, I said, you know what, I'm going for the drums. I did the drums for 2 years, and later I said, let me go for the keyboard, because I wanted a new challenge now. Because for me, drums, I've been doing them for a long time, so I didn't really feel much of a challenge to push myself, and that's when I moved to the keyboard. Moving to the keyboard, coming from Limpopo, it's the same. You play in one key, and then now you have to know all the 12 keys. But I think I just gave myself three months, because also I was getting the pressure. You get there, you play, you see, you're playing one key. So that thing just pushed me to go back and check all my different keys. And the same approach as Fiso is saying is, whatever song I would listen to, play it in the original key. But before that, what I started was, most of the stuff that I knew in the key that I was playing in mostly, I transferred them, like your basic things. That's what I was transferring. And then from there, I started learning the songs.
Yeah, so just something that you said, which I think is true for everybody. You said you gave yourself 3 months. That's important to know, because someone told me something. They said, any task will expand or contract to fill the time that you give it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you gave yourself 2 years, it was going to take you 2 years.
Yeah.
If you gave yourself 3 months, it took you 3 months.
Took 3
It is what it is.
yeah.
And it's like, it's just one of those, I think people think of it as, it's one of those, like, you underestimate how time actually works. So you think to yourself, okay, I'll never be able to do it in 3 months.
Yeah.
And then when you actually give yourself 3 months and you plan it out, I think that's something that Marvin is really good with. Seeing your time, planning your time, and then figuring out, okay, I want to get to this goal, and then you actually sit down and do it. Continue before we get to the meat.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything that I didn't share from my side, But like he said, the moment I learned the basics, that's when I saw that it's very important. You try it. very, very, very important. And from there, that's when I moved to your, is it tritones? Yeah. So,
All right. You spoke about fancy stuff. Triads. Okay. Triads is beautiful. I love that. You spoke about tritones. All right. Okay. So let's talk about, even before we get to the preaching stuff, right? You get a song, right? And most songs that we do, I would say most songs that we do here, especially at CRC, CCM stuff, some stuff that's a bit mixed, you don't generally have piano lines or anything that's put in there, unless it's a worship song, right? So if we talk about the praise stuff, though, let me just say the faster pace stuff, right? And especially the stuff that we write here, because we write it in so many different genres, there's not necessarily like a piano part, right? But what I've heard, especially with Sfiso, is if he'll play the song, I won't feel like something's odd or weird, something weird is happening here. It'll feel like it was supposed to be there anyway, right? Now, the question is, how are you thinking of what to play in a song that does not have your instrument in it? What are you, like, what are the guards rails that you're putting for yourself, and how do you know what to do where?
No, for sure, bro. That's a good question. For me, I usually use my chords. I just break down my chords. Like, for example, as I was speaking about triads, they are so important. So, so when I get a song like, see, so I'm just breaking down that triad. So 3, 2, 1. So I usually just break down triads, stay in that key. Then I usually create melodies from that, especially for praise songs, because it's usually a bit faster. Yeah, so it's just usually that. Sometimes you don't have to do a lot, but you just have to do enough, and that enough must just be in the scale. It must not be out. It must be like about spice, yeah, just a little bit. So yeah, that's how I use stay in the scale. And for worship songs,
I'm gonna pause just for a second because you are skipping so many things, and I get it. Sometimes you know so much, and then like
yeah,
you gotta bring it in for the people, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the song For Love. For Love. Dun, 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 dun. Right. Bum, 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 bum. I'm in the wrong key, but.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So you're talking about, okay, just add spice, add whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a saying that I like which says, less is more if you know more.
Ish. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Less is less because if you don't know more.
For sure. Yeah.
Right? So less is more, because people always tell you, less is more, less is more. And it's true, I get that.
Yeah.
Right? But the only way you can actually properly use less and make it work and make sense is when you already know 50 steps ahead.
For sure.
Because then now you know how to carve around what's happening, right? If you don't know what's happening, then you don't know what shape to carve around the music. Sharp. So how are you carving your shape around? Let's just take For Love, for example. Let's say you had to play it now.
Yes.
Bass, drums, and everybody's playing. Guitars are playing. Everybody has lines that they're playing.
Yes. Okay, so I'm not transposing. I'm just changing sounds. I'm not transposing. Yeah. Yeah, so for me, that song, the key, which is E. So when I was playing it, I was just thinking of this Stevie Wonder song, Isn't She Lovely? So, because I learned that song and I landed on the original key, which is E. So when we played it, or when we kept on playing it, so I was thinking, okay. So those kind of lines fit. So that's why it helps you to learn a song in its key. So it's going to help you in the future. So yeah, that's how it helped me, and I ended up doing some cool stuff there. So I think I used some pentatonics. Yeah, I think that's under that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's when you've heard a song and that thing stays in you, Then when you play another song in that key, that's why it's important not to transpose. Because when you transpose, you can play, but you really don't know the importance of a key, because this key, which is E, it restricts you in a way. So you can't play too many fancy things, which we can, but it restricts you. And when it does that, it helps you play nice things. So yeah, for that song, I just use pentatonics, which is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, which I took from the Stevie Wonder "Isn't She Lovely" melody kind of thing. So it really helped me. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And I'm gonna ask you, Teshela, I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Yeah.
So just think about it now. So
Yeah.
I like the idea of, and to be honest, like that's, if I'm working on the songs, let's say I'm producing the songs, it's actually in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. Like it doesn't exist, right? Anything you play has been played by someone else.
Yeah.
You heard it. You heard someone else play it, and
Yeah.
you're just adding these two things together. That's why you have to learn what other people play. I actually like the idea of, I don't study my heroes or whoever I study who they studied, right? So if I really like a bassist right now and I'm enjoying what he's playing, I need to find out, okay, who are the 3 bassists that he learned from? And the reason I say that is because what tends to happen is the people that I idolize, they pick and choose from their people what they want in their vocabulary, right? The minute I look at those other people's vocabularies, I'm like, oh, whoa, there is actually a lot more of this thing that I really liked.
Yeah.
Or this other guy did something else. And yes, I love like Motown style songs, Stevie Wonder stuff. You'll hear it in a lot of the songs that we do. But just the idea of, if it was there and it worked there, there's a reason it worked. Like anything in studio, like if something was recorded in studio, there's a reason it stayed on the track, because they go through many iterations, many takes. People that know about building things, you know, by the time you're in your 50th, 100th iteration, then you know what's good. Then you have to understand, okay, cool. Now you have something to learn from there, because, okay, this song has been done, it's been baked, it worked. I'm going to pull, even if I just learn a small line from the song, right? I mean, it's better if you learn the whole song so you have context. But even if I learn a small line, and I'm like, from now on, any song that's in the key of E, I'm going to start putting this thing in. And if the song's in the key of E, and then the other thing is, okay, let's say it's a line that's in the song. Let's say even that line at the end of "Isn't She Lovely," that ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-bam-bam, right? Like now, if I'm practicing it, I know that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. I know that it doesn't start on the 1, it starts a little bit after the 1. So that means anytime I'm playing a song and I want to put in a cool fill and there's a space, I think to myself, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Or I even say to myself, okay, so they did it that way. Let me see if I started on the 1. And I'm at home. I want to see what it feels like if I start on the 1. Maybe it's really cool. Right? Let's see what it sounds like if we're starting on the 4, on the 3, or whatever else. And then now I can start to now I actually start to make it part of me. All right, Tetelo, you got a CRC song or a song, whatever, and you have to make it work. Let's, which one do you prefer?
I'll take the same one he
Full of
used.
you. Bless
Yeah,
the Lord.
so bless the Lord. You said something about space. So what I look for, so that I don't take out from what the original song is saying, it's look for those spaces, especially when the song, it goes to the bridge, because it says, so that space there, there's something that I took. I forgot the artist's name, but the song goes, something like that. Yeah. So that line, it's the same thing that I think of even going for a song like Bless the Lord. It's look for an empty space so that I don't put unnecessary stuff that's not needed. So what I'll do, going to the bridge, I'll do the same line. Yeah. And then finish the, and then finish off the bridge.
That's
so
smart, yeah.
it's what you spoke about, that I look for the space and see how I can fill the space. And other things that I do to fill the space is your grace notes. And then it's just something grace note if I don't want to do the.
So talk about a
the
grace note for a second. Like,
Yeah.
just play me a grace note. So you You started on which note and you wanted to end on which note?
So I started from the 6 to the 7.
The 7, okay.
Yeah.
This is basically, moving from the 6 to the 7, but playing everything in between.
Everything, yeah.
To get
Can go from the 4 to the 5. Yeah. So that's how I think of the songs. Let's say it's a CRC song and we're doing it on Sunday. Listen to the whole song. Whatever is there that I don't need to take out, I put it there. But I just look for those spaces that I can put something inside, like that line.
Yeah. So there's a thing, and I want you guys to comment on it as well, where I find if I'm working on a song, if I'm producing a song, I almost go overboard and then I start pulling. I start pulling things out. Up until the point where I'm like, okay, there is something that's memorable, something that when people hear, they'll remember. And I'm not trying to put everything I know into one song. I feel like that can also be, how to put this? I want to put this in the best way possible. That for me, that's a sign of immaturity, right? It's I only know X, Y, Z, so I gotta put in X, Y, Z, right? Where if I know the whole alphabet, then I have the choice of, all right, I don't have to put everything in. I have a choice, and I think it sort of goes with what you guys are saying of like learning songs, getting your vocabulary up. I sort of think of it as if you want to, obviously, I think in music, if you want to, when you're starting off, someone just made a comment, and I'm going to make the comment. You said 7th in the pentatonic. There's no 7, my man, in the pentatonic. What? Yeah. 6, yeah. There we go. All right. So to make sure that we don't get flagged there on the internet. They don't believe anything you say from now on. The way that I think about it, and I think everybody has to sort of figure it out as well, is you have your alphabets, right, which is for me is your scales, right? But there is a reason for alphabets and there's a reason for scales. Like from scales, you can branch out into lines and you can branch out into chords, right? And for me, it's like you're branching out into words. Right, so you have alphabets, and then you branch out into, okay, now you put these alphabets together, and then you can make a word, right? Now you can go through a journey of learning more and more and more and more words, but that doesn't mean that when I talk to you, I use every word I know in a sentence. Actually, the idea of a good sentence and maybe a good speech is to use less words, but only use words that are actually impactful in that moment. Because now if I'm using, if I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know how to play every 7, 3, 2, 5, 1, and I know how to do it like everywhere, and I know every single drop too, and I'm going to use everyone now in this bit of the music, and I'm not thinking about the song, I'm thinking about my instrument. Then I think that's where like things don't work well musically. All right, let's talk about like if you guys have to put a practice routine for a beginner and a practice routine for someone who is medium, intermediate, and also a practice routine for someone that now this person is professional and they need to play and their livelihood depends on it. Yeah. Let's first talk about the practice routine for a beginner. What do you feel like a beginner has to know? This person has a basic idea of the instrument, they can kind of play, but they've never actually had a routine.
Okay.
So talk to me about a routine.
Yeah, no, I think for me, you have to start slow. Like even if you know just a little bit, always when you practicing something, practice slow. And also, there's a difference between practicing and jamming. Because most of the time we think we are checking or practicing something, but we end up jamming the whole 1 hour or 2 hours. Because if you practice and you feel good about yourself, that's not practice. You understand? And if you practice something that you know, still, you're not practicing also, because you don't grow on things that you know, but you grow on things that you really don't know. So for me, it will be basic things, scales. Yeah. Then you move. So you start with the 1, and you start with the 1 scale. Slow. Then you move to 2, and you start on 2. So technically, you're starting to learn modes that same way, but you're doing it slow also, because we like doing faster, but you know, slow I think is the best way. So then you go to 3 and you start on 3. Then 4, start on 4, but slow. Then also you can put on metronome just to help you with time too.
Can I say something about that slow, because I think it's very important?
Yeah.
There's someone said to me, like, your moment will come whether you practice or you don't.
Yeah.
Right. So when that moment comes, and it's actually something that I've learned as well. Speed comes naturally whether you practice or you don't.
Yeah.
The problem is if it comes and you don't practice slowly and properly,
Yeah.
then you'll be fast but sloppy.
That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you are intentional about it, which is I like you have to have a metronome.
Yeah.
The way that I think about it is, if my metronome isn't on, then I didn't really practice.
For sure.
Right? Like if I'm figuring something out for the first time,
Yeah.
then the metronome is off, because I don't want the pressure from the metronome
Yeah.
and the pressure from trying to figure this
Yeah.
thing out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, the idea is let me get it under my fingers so that I can get my fingers under control for a time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Continue. If you want to pop in as well, please do.
Yeah, so for me, that's that, just metronome. Because also, when later it's going to catch up, when you listen to the stream and you hear yourself, you're like, no, there are certain notes that I'm not playing well, or I'm not, because click also, when we play as keys, it's not for drums only, but for us as well. When we play, we have to be on time. So it will catch up with you later. So for me, slowly, scales, learn all the scales, simple scales, basic scales, just your numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, change keys, and that's how you build a nice vocabulary. And also you can just start with the first K, then go to the 4, then go to the 6. So you can play a progression using scales. Also, that opens your mind up or your sound up. Then you can start understanding that when you improvise, you will know that when I go to this 4, I know I can use the 4th scale. When I go to the 6, I can use the 6th scale. So which are modes. So technically you'll be learning that at the same time, but also you're on time with the click, and you are locked in.
Yeah, and to add on what he was saying, it's something that I did for the 3 months that I was learning my basics, is to time myself, consistency. In terms of saying every day I'll spend, because I was spending 30 minutes on the skills. So I was disciplined to say I'm not playing anything. Like he said, if you're jamming, you're not even practicing.
Yeah.
So I was what's this word? Determined to say, you know what, every day, 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes, I'm doing my skills.
Yeah.
And that helped me very quickly, because doing my skills, it got me to see the links between the keys, because we think that 12 keys is difficult, but once you are able to visualize that, oh, my 4 is my F, is my 1 of F, it becomes easier. My 2 is my D, so it becomes easier even when you're going to D. But now knowing knowing what it's similar to is not just enough, but you have to know whether it's a minor or it's a major. Because now you know that, to move, maybe you want to do a passing chord. To go to a 2, it's either you do a minor passing chord. To go to a major, you do a major passing chord. So those things are very helpful in terms of a startup, and also a person who wants to build up their vocabulary and consistency.
I know for sure.
That's okay. So I'm gonna try structure it for everybody, because in my mind, I know that there's people that want to know here, this, that. The way that I like to think about it, and I always tell people the same thing. The time that I grew the most on my instrument, I had to. There were a few things that I had to make sure of. Number one is I don't allow myself to be spoon-fed. So if I'm going to be, especially because I was on bass guitar and the shapes are semi-different or whatever, so I would decide, okay, I'm going to draw out the fretboard and I'm going to draw out the notes that I'm going to play in the scale, so that I've done that first bit myself. I'm not downloading the stuff and finding it. And this is me preparing for the practice time. And when I actually do get to the practice time, I like to live by the rule of this. If I always tell myself, okay, I want to be realistic. If I have no time, if I say I have no time, then I have at least 5 minutes. Because it's impossible to have no time. I can go sleep 5 minutes later, and because I did scales, I've learned way more,
For sure.
all right, than I would have if I did nothing. because it always compounds. Like the growth isn't just 1 + 1 is 2. It's one of those like it goes 1 and then 2, then 4, then 8. So it grows like in a huge way if I can just be consistent in doing that. Anyway, then I say I split my time in whatever time I have, unless I have only those 5 minutes. So I'll say when I have a little bit of time, I'll call that 30 minutes, right? When I have all the time in the world, then I'll say anything over an hour. But I have to be structured. I can't just say, I'm just going to sit down and see what happens. I need to know that I'm putting out 2 hours, because at some point I will start jamming, I will start just doing, and there's a time and a place for that, but like if you want solid, big growth, then you have to determine to say, all right, now I'm just going to work on the stuff. I like the thing that I like to say is, if you feel good, I mean, it gets to a point. If all I'm doing is making myself feel good at home, I won't feel good on stage. Right? If what I'm doing at home is forcing myself to be frustrated and working through the thing, then I'll feel good on stage because I'll be comfortable. My fingers will move more freely. Like I won't have like spider webs happening on me. So now I've decided how much time I have. Let's say I have 30 minutes, and I know psychologically this is the time that most people actually get productive in, when you have those 30 minutes. Anything, and normally what happens is once you finish that, then some people then just keep adding because they realize, wow, I've been so productive. Let me just keep adding. So when I have those 30 minutes, I always say to myself, half of that has to be dedicated to learning a song that is difficult. For sure. Half of that has to be, it's got to be a song that, and I don't like the idea that I'm learning a CCM song. That's not a difficult song. It's got to be a song that's so difficult that when I think about it, I have no idea what the guy's doing. It's got to be like, wait, how does he even do this? Right? Sharp. And the reason I do that is because in it, even if it's just a second of it, I remember I was learning Spain by Chicoria, and I knew like there was like a 2-second piece of music that took me about 4 or 5 hours of just frustration over and over again. But that 2 seconds of music grew me so much. For sure. So the reason I'm learning a song is because in a song, I'm already now interacting with someone that's already learned his whole vocabulary, and I'm picking pieces out of it to say, okay, I don't have this in my vocabulary. Then I pull that same thing, whatever I don't have, into my practice. Now we'll start talking about the technical part of practice, this first half of it. Now, I like to do my first half like, I split that first half in 2 again, right? And I split that very, very first half in 2. And the beginning is a warm-up. I got to warm up. Especially if I'm on bass, I'm warming up differently every day. If I'm practicing slapping on Monday, I'm warming up my thumb. If I'm practicing tapping, I'm warming up my fingers. If I'm practicing normal playing, I'm warming up. So I warm up based off of what I'm doing. And you'll start to see, obviously we'll speak about it, but like, because keyboard, piano is different from organ, is different from clav, is different from EP. And they're all played slightly different. So that very, very first, I do warm up, right? And my warm up always like increases in intensity based off of what I learn in future. So if I'm warming up and I'm doing like nice long stretches of like chords, the more chords I learn, the more now I know, and I can just put them in my warm up. Then from there, I'm doing a scale, right? And I like to do major scales. That's like the main thing I like to focus on. But in the beginning, I'm just doing normal major scales, like you said. Right? Sharp. As I grow, as I start to know modes, now I'm starting to open up my major scales into way different parts. Now I don't just play the major scale as it is. Now I start doing modes, and now not just modes, now I'm doing sequences in modes. Now I'm going, if I'm in the key of C, I'm doing sequences of 3s. 1, 3, 2, dun, dun, da, 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 both hands. Now I'm doing sequences of 3s. Da, da, na, 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 na. And then the more you do it, like you said, the more you start to know the sound, and like you start to see connections in things. You'll start to see, okay, my second mode is actually just an extension of my 5th mode. Is actually just an extension of my 1st mode. And like you'll start to see actually what the stuff means and what it does. Then, because I said, I'll split the whole thing in half, and I'll split this first bit in half, and I'll split that first bit in half again. I've got stretches, and then I've got scales in based off of whatever level I am as a musician. Then this next bit over here, this is where I tackle a thing that is hard for me in the song. Right? Because I want to go back to the song, and I want to know I've achieved something now. Right? So whether it be let's say I can do grace notes, But I struggle with the grace notes when it's in between
Yeah.
my fingers. So I'm playing my 1 and my 5 over here,
Yeah.
but now I want to do grace note in between.
Yeah.
And it's in the song.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to sit there, slow it down, and then put a metronome on. Tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick, tick,
Yeah.
ding, 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 tick,
Yeah.
ding, 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 tick.
Yeah.
And then do it as slow as possible. I like to say, sing the notes that you play,
Yeah, for sure.
because you teach yourself to hear it. It's just it's that beautiful thing of like your own voice is the one that you hear the most, is the one that you believe the most, is the one that stays in you the most.
Yeah.
So if you've sung the notes, you know exactly what they sound like.
For sure.
I like to.
Yeah.
I like even to this day, I know exactly what a sequence of 4 sounds like, a sequence of 5.
Yeah.
I know and it's important to know like to know your relation between notes,
Yeah.
because now you've sung them, you've played them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think you learn things quicker when you engage more senses.
Yeah.
When it's not just engaging your fingers, and now you're engaging your eyes, you're engaging your ears as well.
Yeah.
All right, and that's how I like to structure my practice. And every time I conquer a song, this song is not for me to learn and be like, yeah, I know a song. No, it's to expose things in my playing that are expose vocabulary that I don't have.
Yeah.
It's to put me in an uncomfortable position
For sure.
at home.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I want to say, which I always say, if you make a mistake,
Yeah.
start from the beginning.
Yeah. No, for
Right?
sure.
Don't train yourself to be fine with mistakes.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the more mistakes you make and then you keep going,
Yeah.
you become a pro at making mistakes, and then you don't think about it. Like, I believe that if you're a professional at something, you're not really thinking about the thing, you're just going
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
You can become a pro at making mistakes.
Yeah.
You can become so good at it that you just sort of, okay, all right. And then you don't hear it anymore,
Yeah.
all right? And the hard part about that is reworking or unwinding or,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so what are you guys practicing now? Because I believe that practice becomes different when you sort of reach a certain level.
Yeah.
Currently, what I'm practicing is there's a song. I just took a song, but the intro of it, bow, bow,
Yeah.
bow, bow, but the intro of it. So I still haven't figured out what he was playing, but I took out one thing that the guy did. He was doing. It's not the whole of it, but it's a part of it. So what I'm learning now, it's that intro part, because what you kept on saying is the vocabulary. So I listened to that song and I realized that I don't have that in my vocabulary. So it's something that now currently I'm learning, but I'll still keep my basic of your skills, but I don't take much time on them now, but now do the tritones. So now what I've been focusing on is the tritones, and how they all fit together. And another important thing that also Sfiso mentioned was how, let's say maybe I go to the 4 and I go from the 1 to the 4, knowing what scale to apply on the 4.
Yeah.
So it's learning the melodic, harmonic, and your major to say, when I go to the 6, I can apply this and this. And I saw that when I was learning, there's a song by, I think it was a gig of Java. They're playing, JR Sessions.
Oh, yeah.
JR Sessions on YouTube, So I was listening one of their JR Sessions, and the guy went to the 2. There was a scale that he did, and I still couldn't figure out what he was doing. But after listening to it a couple of times, that's when I noticed that, he's just doing a melodic minor scale. So now I'm just listening to a song and picking all those things that I hear that are not in my vocabulary and practicing them. It's what I'm currently learning now.
Yeah. Sure. Wow.
Swiss.
That's awesome. Yeah. So for me, it's the album that I posted on our group now. The reason why I'm learning that album is the progressions they have. And I haven't yet started to play it, but I'm just listening to it.
That's the Charlie Puth album, right?
Charlie Puth album, yeah. So now I didn't touch anything. I'm just listening, trying to figure out progressions, trying to think, if I'm gonna start checking this song, am I gonna play the right things the first time that I play them? So I'm challenging my ear. Like, is this 4? Is this 2? Because I think listening to a song that deeply, it will help you with learning our songs, like the songs that we get on Sundays, quicker. Because you can just listen to a song when when you're going wherever. Then when you get home, you can just, you can be quicker in terms of playing it. So, and also that thing of hearing, I remember back then, I didn't catch things on the fly, like be able to hear, okay, that's a 4 on the song, that's a 6 on the song. But actually, I prayed for it. I said, God, please, I want to hear things. I want to hear progressions. I want to understand if there's a 2, the difference between a 2 and a 4 and a 6 and a 5. So, and one time I was just chilling listening to a song. I was like, oh, I think that's a 2. Then that's when I knew that actually when you pray and ask God for things, they actually can happen. So also here, when you have a need and maybe you wanna play a certain style, or when you wanna hear also, you wanna have an ear, you can also ask God and say, please Lord, can I please have, or can I please learn this, or can you, increase my knowledge in this? It also work. So for me, that's that. I'm just learning. I'm just listening to that album every single day, till the day. Maybe probably Friday, I'm gonna start checking it. Then I'm gonna make notes if I, learn the correct progressions on the fly. So when I check it, I'm gonna play a song, play with it immediately. Then when I make a mistake, I stop and I realize, oh, maybe it was a 2. Yeah. So I'm just pushing myself.
I love that.
Crazy.
We're going to go to flowing now on a Sunday, flowing with Pastor.
Yeah.
But I think like some really, really good things there is, I remember before I was married, when I was in Bloemfontein, on a Saturday, I would give myself time to just listen back to the set list.
Yeah.
Although I'd played these songs a million times, I think what happens is the more you, I'm going to come back to this point in a second.
Yeah.
I do want to say, anytime I hear anybody say anything that I've never heard before in my life, for example, someone says melodic minor, I'm like, I would always write it down, and then I would go do my own research, figure out, okay, what is it? Okay, cool. Where can I hear it? In which song? And then I start to do that. The more you can do that for yourself and not have someone else do that for you, you're going to grow as a musician hugely.
Yeah.
Because if you train yourself to have other people give you information, you're going to get so good at waiting for other people that you won't be able to actually do anything yourself. Anyway, so let me go back to what I was saying. And I would find, okay, now I'm practicing more and more. Let's say maybe the last time I actually learned the song properly, and I have a system for myself to like learn songs that I'll know the song.
Yeah.
Let's say I learned it last year, but I was at a lower level of my musicianship last year, right?
Yeah.
Now I just, and I remember this, I was walking down the road and I put it on headphones and I just listened and I was like, wait a second. No, he's actually also doing this.
Yeah.
And then I just realized again that, you know what? It doesn't help to learn a song and then be done. Because the more you grow, the more things you sort of unlock, the more things you can hear.
Yeah.
The more things make sense to you. And actually there's times, like, when I remember the first time when I got into producing music, the first time. Then I started listening to the radio and I was like, whoa, what is this? That's the bass. That's the guitar.
Yeah.
That's this. And then like you start hearing things separately.
Yeah.
But before, I just heard it's a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you'll surprise yourself because the more you grow, the more you listen to something again, and you'll be like, okay, well, that's actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to say, just to maybe help some people, because especially when you practice something that's very difficult, whether you get it today or not is not the issue.
Yeah.
The fact that you're practicing it is the issue.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen, and it normally happens, you try this thing a million times today, nothing happens for you.
Yeah.
You wake up tomorrow, you play it for the first time, perfect.
For sure.
Like your body just does that.
Yeah.
Like if you give up, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like whether you do it, whether you get it right or not, and I think it's one of those. It's almost like your body just needs to push past something, and then whether you get the 100% correct thing today, that's not the issue.
Yeah.
Like your fingers, even when you sleep, like the fact that you did that, like I'm not sure what it does. I think it just like it opens up a new groove in your brain, and it's like, okay, cool, sharp. Now tomorrow we can do it easily.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about and guys, I want to encourage everybody that's watching now to maybe think of some questions because we're gonna get there. But I think this is really important because I get to witness, especially when these two guys are playing when Pastor is preaching. For me, that's that. I mean, they've done some pretty like impressive stuff. There's a few things that I've noticed, which I'm gonna maybe speak about as well. Is figuring out sounds, knowing your keyboard, knowing what to play, and then also knowing how to, let's say your pastor is preaching and he's gone like big, 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 or whatever. We're just figuring out some sounds here. You guys good? We'll be right with you, folks. So we can get these sounds nice. If you have questions, please push them through. What do you guys need? What's up? Let's see. Guys, I'm so thankful that everybody is watching, and I really hope that this is helpful to people that are watching. We're busy setting up some sounds. But let's talk about, okay, because over here we have Pastor Art with us live, and I think there are some things that we can learn, and maybe so you can start talking about them. Let's talk about real life scenarios, right? We're on the last worship song. The last worship song is going, and it can end in one of two ways, right? It can either end big, or it can end small, right? So let's say the song, we're done, he comes up, this last worship song is done, and we're going to end it big. We're in the key of D. We're in the key of D, right? Sharp. Right, the song is done. Go back to piano. Now the whole band, Ralph, he gets up there, and like he'll watch us and he'll show us, okay, this is the end. Boom. We ended big. Okay. Now the thing is, I know you aren't just gonna stay on D the whole time.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Where are you gonna go?
Definitely.
Now this is scenario number one. Scenario number one. We've ended big and loud.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing? Hit me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Get your mic on.
One, two. Yeah. Okay, for sure. So for me, when we end big, so I like to do big progressions also. So that's why understanding the sound of your chords really helps, because now you'll know if I call out these numbers, they're gonna be big. So yeah, for me, if we end big, I have to call out big numbers or sequence, because also there's different type of sequence. You can end it like this and maybe call out just one sequence, which is one number. Just say, maybe let's say flat 7. See? So also you can have a sequence of 2. You can say, then you can say flat 7/4. Also, we've got the sequence of 3s. So you can say, maybe you can end it flat 7. You can maybe do 6/5/4. Yeah, so for me, I usually do sequence of 3s because I feel like that's big enough. And also I time it because it's big. I want to stay big and not stay big for long. So for example, if we end it, then maybe flat 7/4, then maybe 6/5/4, then 2, 3, 4. So you have to keep it. So you have to keep it big. Also, don't drop that energy. Keep it big. Then don't take time. So for example, so we ended. Maybe let's add on a 4. Then maybe flat 7, 6. Then 5, 3, 4. Then after that, so what I usually do is that I call the song back in, which was there. So I call it back in like so after that 3, 4, then 5. Maybe that song was 4, 5, 6, the progression. So let me just do flat 7. Then let me do flat 7. Then 6. Then 4. Then 3. Then 2. Then 5. Then I'm gonna call it back in 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So the main thing about that moment is to keep it big. Yeah.
And when you do come back, also like I assume you're making sure that when you're playing big. You're 100%. Either playing something that has a high melody or...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, so most of the time I keep it big, then I play something melodically which is big also and on the sides. Yeah.
So I think it's almost the same approach.
Yeah.
So it's finished, and also what I notice is because what he is talking about keeping it big, it's the head signature.
Yeah.
Like when calling the chord 654, and not just calling 654 3 2. Now it's confusing everybody. But if I'm calling 654, I know that I'm giving also a split of a second so that they're able to come. But I'm not just calling chords.
This is the rest of the band,
everywhere.
correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
and
for
making
the
sure
rest
that
of the band.
they can see your head movement so they know where to
Yes.
hit
Yeah.
with you at the same time.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. But the approach is almost the same. So if the song is 4, 5, 6, we'll do 1, flat 7, 4, 2, 3, 4. Back to the song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And what's also important here is the tempo that we were playing at the previous song, that goes out now.
Sure.
Now we're increasing the
Yeah.
tempo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either we'll say 2, 3. So
Yeah.
The-
go
the-
to flow.
when you go to for so
Yeah.
I usually say to the Josie team that look at my foot, because I communicate mostly with my foot always when I play. So I'll say look at my foot because I change the tempo with my foot. So I'll say 2, 3, 4, build 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, yeah, and from there that's when you can do the key changes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so we're still on a big scenario, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're big,
Yeah.
and I've noticed that you don't want to stay on, depending on the key. Like you want to have like a nice separation so pastor feels that,
Yeah.
okay, now
Yeah.
we've moved
Yes.
into sermon.
Yeah.
So now you're moving to E flat, F, whatever.
Yeah.
How are you changing from that? Now you're in the key of D. We've done our big. He's greeted everybody. He's already said welcome to the TV audience and welcome to whatever. Because like he normally has the same sequence of things
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
that he says, unless he decides to end small. But now we're ending big. So he says welcome to the TV audience. Welcome to whatever else.
Yeah.
And then he says maybe greet your neighbor, whatever else.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like we have a little bit of room.
Yes.
sure.
Yeah,
Little-
right there,
there-
yeah,
there's like a slight room where now you can quickly
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
And if you don't change then like
100%.
it's going to take too long to happen.
100%.
And the worst place to lose him is in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you want to make sure that like you get him in the beginning so that we can like
Yeah.
move. So how are you changing, and where are you changing to?
Yeah, no. For sure. I think that window is very important to change there. You have to change, especially if especially keys, you must change keys. And how I change, it depends sometimes. Sometimes I change with the band, sometimes I change by myself. So it depends when we die down just a tiny bit, what happened. Maybe he came up with a scripture, or because when he comes up with a scripture, it means almost like the sermon is started. So you have to move already. So that's why I change without the band, then they join me after. But when he, when he does the greet your neighbor and stuff, and maybe we are railing, that's why maybe I can just suggest maybe a key, maybe E flat. Yes, so also the change must be smooth also. It must not be that hard that shows that it's almost out. You see? So, and also it's important to choose the keys that you're changing to. You don't just change two keys. Sometimes you can feel also, for me personally, I can, maybe let's say we're on D. Then I suggest that we go to maybe let's say F. Sometimes I can feel that it's way up. I don't know how I can feel it, but I can just feel that it's way up. So I suggest something lower, maybe E flat. Because sometimes when the energy is too high, you need a high key. For me, that's F. Yeah, sometimes maybe we can try, F sharp and up, but you need a key that's higher for a maybe higher moment or higher sermon that has a, energy in it. So that's how I do. I don't know, how do you figure out your keys, where to change to?
Yeah, it's also based on my last key. Like if we're ending on D,
Yeah.
so, because I think it's in the other past Sunday, I went to E. So it's the same thing that I said D is too low.
Yeah.
So I can't go to C. I'd rather go to E
Yeah.
and then switch on to E. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I always change the keys. So
Yeah.
it depends. If maybe we were using A, that's when maybe I'll go to the E flat,
Yeah.
lower key. Yeah.
Then also, I think for me, it's kind of works on my advantage when he hears it that something has changed. You know, that's why sometimes I can just maybe play by myself, then maybe change, so that also he can hear that from the worship we move to something else. Cause as I think also that transition also it's very important. And also for me that part, it doesn't matter how you go into it. Like changing keys, you don't have to maybe do a 2-5-1. You can just hoist straight to it. It's not like when we do the altar call, because later the altar call has to be smooth because it's quiet. Now you can just jump, but there you must just go. Yeah, that's why.
And I would think it's also, obviously, you can almost tell what he wants to preach about when he comes on.
For sure.
And if you're in a song, let's say you're in a lost worship song that's like just, quiet and hands in the air, but like he wants to preach about, you've got this, and blah, 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 and he wants people to have energy and like and almost shout. Like you don't want to stay in that key. Like you want to sort of like figure out, okay, where we at, where we going, what's he saying with his body language. Then
And also something that I look at is the songs. Like there was a Sunday where I was playing and we're doing that song, I'm getting out of the grave. And by the way the song is, I could tell the mood after that song, you can't take it down. So the songs themselves, the worship songs tell you where you're going. And also the message. Once the message pops up on the screen, get out of your grave. You can already tell. You're not gonna go.
Definitely. I think it's important for you also to know scriptures, because the verse that he speaks about at that moment, or the quote, it tells you about the message already. So you already have to know where you're going. Because that first line, it already tells you that we're going higher or we're going.
That's very good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say he comes up and then he's like, gentle. Where are we going?
Yeah. So for me, I think there is it's kind of easier when it's also gentle, but it's also risky because that's where you can lose it also. So for me, so I just keep it on one chord if it's gentle. Then we can, I don't do a lot of numbers when it's like that. I just use one chord, maybe 4. So 4, then I just use 4/5, back to 4, 4/5, 4, just to set a gentle mode. Then sometimes I don't use hits. Sometimes I use swells. So for example, so we can be on that 4. Then we can swell to 3. Then we can swell to 2. So we can swell to 3. So also it's gentle, but also it's it's building. Then until you can go to a stronger progression. So swells also they work for me too.
Yeah, it's what I wanted to touch on, the swelling part. That you don't have to do the hits and all those. And another thing that I've noticed is usually when you're playing, you'd have your pad solo. So if he's going at that moment, you have to be also quick to have your pad up, because you can't have the piano up and now your pad is low, because the pad also helps for the flow.
Nice. So I'm thinking as a complete beginner, right? And like you guys are talking. What's coming out of your mouth now is not just your words, but it's stuff that you've heard, you've practiced, whatever else.
Sure.
Give me names.
I
want you to give me names of people who, if people leave here or whatever, they can go look them up. They can go study their playing. They can study what those people do when they play for different artists or different preachers. Just throw names.
Okay.
The ones that I listen most is what's TD Jake's church? Potter's House Band. Yeah, that's the ones that I listen to most.
Okay.
Most of the times.
No, they're good. Yeah, with that guy. I think he left now.
The one with UJ,
Yeah.
So it's the one that I've been listening to most. Even the swelling of it, I heard it from him. Yeah, it's from him.
Nice, awesome, that guy. I love him too.
Wait, there's more people. You guys aren't saying everybody.
Everybody, we don't know them.
Okay, so for me, I think for me, the I think the thing that changed my life in terms of playing, hits. It's this song by James Fortune. So there was, I think it's an interlude. So there's this pastor called, I think it's John Francis. Yeah. So there's a song. He comes on and he's preaching there, and the band does the hits. I don't know if you know that song. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying once you said James Fortune, yeah, the song came into my head.
Yeah, for sure. And also for now, I think there's a guy that I'm listening to. I think he also does crazy hits, and I also follow him on YouTube also. I think his
I
name
know
is.
the guy. It's just I don't keep track of the names.
You don't keep.
Yeah.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
must
from
be
Potter's
him.
House. Yeah.
What's the guy's name who played on that "To Know You, Lord" by Tone? He's like probably one of the most famous pianists.
Who's that guy? Oh,
Light-skinned
he's
dude.
Is that guy?
You remember what he does?
Who's that guy? To know? Yeah, no. Who's that guy? But I'll tell you now.
Just Google it for me.
I just
if
wanna-
you-
Just want to tell you about this guy.
Is this guy, man? Let me check him.
To Know You,
Let
Lord
me
by
look him up.
Tone, Tonex. All right. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's. If ever you think of someone, 'cause
Yeah,
it's
I'll
always
just
nice, like for
look
people
up,
to like
yeah.
know. Okay, I need to look up this person. I need
Yeah.
to look up this person.
Oh,
Kevin Bond. There we go. That's the
Kevin
one.
Bond. Yeah.
Kevin Bond.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
know him from Marvin Sapp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kevin Bond.
Yeah, so for me, the guy who does hits very well for me is this guy called Christian Brown.
Let me see.
Let me do this.
I think I know him.
I know for me, that guy is the best of the best. I'll just show you now.
Is he the one who's...
I'll just show you now. Yeah, his name is Christian Brown, but I don't think you can see his face.
I follow him. Yeah, I
You follow him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
very
I'll
good.
just also send this.
Oh,
Oh, Judah, yeah, he's also, he's also
yeah,
awesome.
it's good.
Yeah, the
But he
pianist.
doesn't do the hits and
Yeah,
all those.
yeah, but
He just moves. Yeah.
yeah, but he's
Yeah.
also, yeah.
That's good.
All right. So let's talk about high energy. We're in one of those sermons where it's shout, it's jumping, it's dancing, it's whatever else. How are you keeping the energy up even when? Give you an example. We've gone dan, 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 bam, and then you got to bring something line in to like keep the energy up.
Yeah,
What are you guys thinking? What are you guys doing there? Like that's the wild, the crazy.
yeah.
So there is it when Pastor just landed, like in terms of preaching.
No.
like
He's
Yeah.
he's preaching. He's
inside,
going
yeah.
while
In
the
it, yeah.
Johannesburg crowd is on their feet there, like dancing. We're
Okay.
doing shout to ta to ta to ta to ta to ta, like it's like and then dun 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 bam.
Okay, so one thing I would do is set it up for there's this progression 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say we're coming from flat 7, and then 1 1, and then also 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there it's me and the bass. But also, what makes the communication easier, which comes before all, what we do is a communication prior to the service. So what I'll do is, even though it's not necessarily preparing for what we do at those moments, but it's just sharing the ideas with the band, then it becomes easier to say, oh, let's go with 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, they already know it.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, the drummer knows what to do, the bass knows what to do, and it all becomes one.
Yeah.
So usually when we break, let's say it's coming from flat 7, 1, it's either I'm just doing straight notes, or it's a scale. Yeah. So, and then from there it's come back to the shout groove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you doing when you pitch bend?
When I
What's happening there with the pitch bend? Talk to us about the pitch bend.
the one for the fish bed.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, scales are very important there. Scales are very important there. I think sometimes scales they do set up these things or set them off or take them to another level. You understand? And as the blues scale, for me, the most important scales that you can learn are two scales, pentatonic and the blues scale. So for me, here, when the energy is high and it's crazy,
I just want to say, and they're related, right? It's literally just one note that sets them apart.
100%.
Yeah, so
100%.
already there, it's like if you can try like link stuff together,
Yes.
you're not learning two things, you're learning one and a half things.
100%. Yeah. And it's just a simple scale, just a simple scale, and it goes well with dominant chords. So in those sort of high situations, I usually use dominant chords and that scale, and it definitely usually it works. And also, it's taking risks. For me, sometimes it's just, when he's preaching, he made a point, then he's quiet. There's a space. Then, so those kind of things, not being afraid to, try things or do things at that moment in time, they actually work out for the better. Because if you think about them, sometimes it's just, it's risky because it's quiet. He's thinking maybe about something, and when you're just playing something, bro, it can, go. You understand? Yeah. So sometimes I feel like you must just be out of control. That time you just, you're uncontrollable. So for me, it's the blues scale and know your dominant chords. It's dominant chords. Those things, they will definitely help you. And you can learn that by learning about, there's a thing called a 12-bar blues or blues. So it usually works with dominant chords, and it's going to teach you blues scales also. So yeah, for me, that moment is dominant chords and blues and just taking risks. These days, sometimes I change patches. I think I'm out of control these days. So I just change patches. I add brass in it. Sometimes I add synth and stuff. So yeah, for me, when it's that high, you also must be high, with the Holy Spirit.
The Most High. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about now landing it,
For sure.
bring it down, get to the point where we're
100%.
getting to alto call. You were in the key of A flat, or no, okay, let's maybe you're in the key of E flat.
Yeah.
But now we need to go to D,
Yeah.
right? And it's like it's quiet. All you hear is
Yeah.
keys, Pastor Art, some woman crying in the back there,
For sure, bro.
and you need to find a way
It's quiet.
to transition smoothly so that you don't feel it.
For sure.
What are you thinking of when you're transitioning to a different key, and then what are you thinking of?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's when you high and when the service is high and the preaching is high, you also need to think that you also need to maybe listen to the sermon deeply and hear that it's going to an end, or look at the time. Also, you can tell, when the time goes, it's gonna end and things are gonna shift. So you must always be mindful of that. And when that time comes, you have to drop it down, take it down. Then it's the pad. For me, it's the pad and the strings. And yes, that settles it, and it's almost at the end. So here now, I think it's the most important part of us flowing, when you have to be smooth now, because now you can do, you have to be smooth. Think about the room, it's quiet. Pad, string, it's quiet. Less progressions, less movement, just simple 1, 2 things. Okay, let's say we're in the E flat. Just simple things. Sometimes you can do 1/4. 1/4. Yeah, I think that works definitely. So usually when we flow, our keys are different to the maybe altar call song that we're gonna do. So that's where you have to understand your relationship, your keys relationship. What chord works with what? What if you wanna change to D? What do you have in E flat that can help you to change to D, so that you can move smoother? I think that's the most important things there, especially when you start learning, because at the beginning I said those triads, it's very important to learn them, because you'll see the chords in a different way. You'll start understanding that, okay, this 2, this 6 on F is the same as 2 in C. So you're technically in the key of C already. So that usually helps you to, gently change keys, because it's very important. Yeah, it's definitely important.
It's the same thing that he mentioned, the relationship between the keys. So that's all that I'm thinking about
Yeah,
that moment. So if it's in, because usually we switch to C sharp.
yeah,
So it would go 6,
yeah,
and then now I'm in the 6 of C sharp,
yeah,
and then that's the switch.
yeah,
So I just did 1, 7, 6, 6 of C sharp, 5,
yeah,
3, 4.
yeah,
Yeah, but mostly it's based on what's the relationship. Yeah, because the 6 of E flat is the 7 of
yeah.
C sharp.
Yeah.
So technically I'm already in C sharp.
Yes. And also, it depends on how much time you have
Yeah.
in terms of changing keys. Because sometimes you can change like that. Sometimes you just need one chord to go to another key.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So
Yes.
also, you need to be mindful of the time that you have before there's a song.
Yeah, and what I've also taken from Pretoria side is switching before let's bow our heads. Because let's bow our heads now. Everybody, it's already too late. It's already too late.
It is. Yeah.
So the moment is down, that's when you switch, also looking at the time. But I'd literally say don't change when it's heads down, because now everybody's quiet and is listening to whatever that's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you underestimate how much people can hear in that moment, or
100%.
or how much can switch a moment on or off. In that, I remember watching a sermon by someone, and they were like, there can be some like intense moments in the church where even something small can pull people away from it, where like the moment is so deep that like you don't want anything, and the last thing you want is for your keyboardist to be the one that's like trying to figure out, okay, what key are we in, or whatever else. Like you always got to be almost in control of the moment as well, and like no, okay, this is where we are, this is where we're going. I think there's some questions because we've pretty much hit the end.
Okay.
Let me see, Levale, master of the questions. Let me see here. Let me see. Which ones am I picking here? What goes through your mind when a pastor asks you to change what you're playing?
Okay. So this happened. So I'll play what we were playing and then what he said. So it was, I think, 3 weeks back, and it had been about 3 to 4 weeks without him being at Johannesburg. So, but before then, it's also, I think sometimes it's also, I don't know if it's you'd say the help of the Holy Spirit or common sense, but to me it was common sense to go to the team to say, look, Pastor has not been here for like 3-4 weeks. Okay. Obviously, when he comes here, he needs to wake the Josie team up. So please be ready for shout. So I told the drummer, have 160 ready. So I had prepared the team. And then when he got in, the mood was high, but I got confused because he said, take it down. I think we're in C. And then we took it down. So this is the progression I played. It worked for like 2 minutes. And then he said, I know, out. So then when he said out, it's something I was chatting with Sfiso. The attitude is the one that matters. You go there confident. When he said out, I just told the drummer, give me 160. And we waited for him to say, come back. Once he said come back, we knew it's shout. So then when he said come back, I said 1, 7, 4, 1. And then now we're building it up for the shout. It's that progression. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then now the kick is just going ta, 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 ta. And then from there, build. Flat 7, 4, 1. So it's basic. If he stops you, it's most likely you've started low, because there was a time where I started high and he said, bring it down. It's better that way.
For sure.
So I knew that now I'm calm.
Yeah.
Because we were high and he said, no, bring it down. So it was calmer that way. But it's good to communicate with the team. Most likely Yeah.
All right. See, what's the biggest mistake? I think this is like a big question. But what's the biggest mistake you've seen keyboardists make when backing a preacher, and how how can they avoid it?
I think for me, I think it's being in their head, not listening to the someone. Yeah, just playing progressions. It's cause so you can tell when someone is just playing progressions, or when they are also moving with the preacher, because it's important for you to play while listening. Yeah, because most people concentrate on playing more than listening. So when you play, you have to listen first, and the progressions later. Because if you do that, the someone will guide you in terms of which progressions to play. And also, you can't be in your head when you're there at that moment in time, because everything is just now. It's now. Whatever you're doing is now. So you can't want to think, yesterday I did this, let me. Because when you do that, maybe, another preacher's already left you. So you're behind that time. Now you're trying that tritone thing, now it's not working. So you must always listen to the someone. Just listen as much as you can. And also for me, us, as here in Pretoria, we need to be mindful of our sounds, especially our pad and strings, because sometimes they are heavy. When you have to take them down. Just take them down. It has to be more piano, less pads, especially in the beginning of the, when we flow in the beginning. So you can introduce the more pad later. So just take down the pad, take down the strings, even the bells. So you can just take them down and put the piano up. So the piano must lead you. But most importantly, you need to listen to the sermon. So it's the preacher, you, and the band. So you have to hear that message first and relate it to the band. So if you can't catch it, then it's going to be difficult for you to play, because you're thinking of, I need to play this, I like this. It's not going to work. You have to be in that moment. And the someone will usually guide you. Yeah.
All right. Marvin.
If I'm on keys 2
Yes, sir.
and you're playing piano with strings and pad,
Yes, sir.
what should I do?
Depending, you can. There are soft synth that you can play depending on where we are. In terms of the service, there's nice soft synth. There's nice bells also, and there are pads that are almost like it's an atmosphere kind of pad, which doesn't clash with my analog pad. So those are the things that you can play, especially in terms of.
In the flow, I'm talking, not in the.
Also, okay. So in the flow,
Yeah, while pastor's preaching.
yes. So in the flow, I feel like his two must not play. It must not play as I'm leading, if I should put it that way. They have to play when when the band is playing, because sometimes, if I'm playing, or let's say for example the guitar is playing and I'm playing, and the pastor is preaching. See, so now we're clashing. It's like me and him are talking, and the pastor is preaching. So I feel like it should be just one person leading. Then when we play together, they also can join in. But they can also use the synth. I feel like they can use the synth, especially if we're playing shout and all this other thing. They can use the organs, the synth, and the brass also, they can use it. So they must not be also afraid to play. They can just, explore. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to call it because I think we got a lot of really good information. If I can just maybe suggest to people what I think maybe I got out of this is listen to music and practice music and do it and practice properly.
Yeah.
If I can put it that way, practice slowly, practice properly. I like to think of it in two ways. It's if you're not happy with what you're playing, either one of two things is wrong. Either the quality of your practice is wrong, or the quantity of your practice is incorrect. It's normally the quality. And by the quality, I mean you're not slowing down enough. You're not like putting the metronome on. You're not practicing and like focusing on the thing. You're maybe thinking about jamming. You're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And I would, my suggestion would always be, open up a sermon if you want to learn how to flow with Pastor Art.
Sure.
Open up a sermon and then just play along with him on YouTube. Like, don't let this be the first time you do it. It's almost like imagine David, the first time he ever slung the slingshot was when he got to Goliath.
Yeah.
I would have been like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. And
So
it started with the
yeah,
bear first
100%.
and the lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like it's because the Bible is written almost so quickly. Like it feels like things happened one day and then the next day this happened, or the next few seconds this happened. I think people don't get the context of, David was practicing for long. Like he was really good at what he did because he practiced over and over again. His instrument, his fighting, his whatever. So I think yes, give yourself the adequate amount of time, but then use it properly.
Yeah.
I always like to say it's like the lepers who were outside of the city gates,
Yeah.
who it was like, okay, now they've got a moment, they either go or they don't go. And it's like if you make a decision to go, if you actually make the decision to go, okay, I want to get better, I'm going to do this. Like God, he goes with your decision and he'll make sure that your time is there.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to do it. All right, gents and ladies, thank you guys so much. This was a very, very, very informative session. And please feel free to ask your section leaders in your churches questions, and then they'll send them through to me or to Marvin. If it's keyboardist, please send them through to Marvin. Marvin is section leader here in Pretoria. And you want to say one thing? Yeah,
Yeah. I just want to say something. I think this other Sunday, so I was listening to Mr. Marv play. I think it was last week, or was it last week when you were playing Mr. Marv? 2 weeks back. Yes. It really blessed me because most of the time we play, but when you get time and you sit and you listen to someone, it was really nice that you played that day. I think you were flowing for that other pastor, but it was, yes, sir. It was beautiful. Yeah. And also, I want to shout out to Lufono and Junior. Tough. They're really amazing. Like, you are as good as, your drama and your bass player, to be honest. They are actually amazing. I just want to say that, yeah.
We thank God.
And Tino Keys.
Tino,
yeah, he's also amazing, man. Yeah.
Tino, you can stop the recording. You can just stop the stream. Thank you so much, my man.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. Victory.